There's been a lot of talk about Oliver Anthony and his incredible meteoric rise to stardom on his own terms. The fact that his song "Rich Men North of Richmond" became a huge hit, and he's raking in the cash right now, even though he has no label. He's a totally independent artist, but he still managed to spring out of nowhere, and again just become this figure that fascinates people and enthralls people. And I wanted to look at or talk about something that I have observed from the couple of times that I've seen him perform live. I've never actually been there to see him live, but the recordings of his live performances that I have seen, which he's given at these out of the way type places, like some golf course somewhere in North Carolina, some farmers market somewhere, I think also in North Carolina near where he lives. Huge crowds come to see him, but from what I gather, it's a free show, and he doesn't really seem to have an interest in taking the typical route to stardom. As I said, he wants to do it all on his own terms, and he's had offers ever since he got noticed a couple of weeks ago. He's had offers from mainstream country venues, record labels in Nashville, and he's turned them all down and said, I don't, that's not the route I want to take. I want to do this my own way. I want to do this. I want to determine the manner in which I manifest, as it were, as a singer-songwriter. So there's a lot there that's very, very compelling about this guy, about his persona. In spite of the fact that when he talks about himself, he's always very humble, and he's very eager to even to put himself down, essentially, to say there's nothing really special about my music. It's not a great song. I don't claim that it's great or in any way, but I think it speaks to people, who need to hear these kinds of things. So what interested me most as I was, and there are, if you go on YouTube now, breakdowns of Oliver Anthony's "Rich Men North of Richmond" song are pretty much a dime a dozen. You've got got a zillion reaction videos, and then you've got lots of videos where people are saying, talking about the lyrics in one way or another. What I wanted to hone in on was what I noticed from his live performances was kind of the money shot, if you will, the lyrics that really brought the message home and got the crowd really roused. And it's really very interesting when you think about it, when you scrutinize it, when you look at it closely, and take into consideration certain things, which I'm going to here in a minute. So, there's lots of lines that people remember about the song now. Working hours for bullshit pay, and so I can drag myself home, drink my troubles away. That kind of that depiction of the working man's desperate life, just barely staying afloat, and disconcerted with the state of the country, the state of the world around him. and so forth. And so it almost becomes this, like, there's a danger of it becoming like a sad sack kind of song, like a woe is me kind of song. But it's not. It's clearly not just that. It's a song that channels the anger felt by tons and tons of people, by millions of people. I'm going to hazard to say, and I think that it cuts across racial lines. And it's not just reaching, working class folks in Appalachia and the South. It's reaching a lot of people, and like that song. Like I said, well, it's number one. That speaks for itself. He's got some other songs that are also charting. That without having a label, without being attached to any typical promotion vehicle, some moneyed record company. So it's reaching people, and I think it's interesting to note at least judging from the couple of live performances that I've seen, on video. There's one line in particular that just gets the crowd really hooting and hollering, and I'll try to find a link to this one of those live performances, so you can see it for yourself. So, as I was saying before, there are a lot of lyrics in the song that stand out. There's my personal favorite, of course, is the I wish politicians cared about minors, miners, and not just about minors, minors, on some island. Reference to Epstein Island, of course. Some of the stupid neoliberal types, hear that line and they think, oh, QAnon alert. No, it's not about QAnon, idiots. It's about Epstein, which is not QAnon. It's about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and that has been, that's been on all the major mainstream news sources that you can name. Okay, so don't come at me with this. Oh, it's just a dog whistle to QAnon crap. All right, it's not, and of course, so much of the whiny neoliberal lefty types, so much of their angry critiques of things is saying, "Oh, that's a dog whistle. Oh, if you listen to this, that's going to send you down the pipeline to the alt-right." They say they use those two words, and I think I've talked about this before. I don't know what they would do without those two words, without dog whistle and pipeline, right? And they're very useful, because when you say this is a dog whistle, that's useful when somebody, just says X in a song, and then you can just feel free to say, oh, well, they're only saying X, but they're really meaning, it's a dog whistle to what they really mean, which is this nefarious thing that I believe it means. So that's what they mean when they talk about dog whistling. So a reference to Epstein and mainstream politicians being involved and entangled with Epstein, which is truthful, it's factual, it's not just rumor, it's not conspiracy theory. Okay, but anyway, I got off course there for a second. So the line about the reference to Epstein Island, and the line about the obese milking welfare and wolfing down fudge rounds, is kind of funny. I don't know if it's intended to be funny, but it's, in the middle of this deeply wounded protest song, he's talking about all these fatzos out there using their welfare money to buy fudge rounds. That's kind of amusing. But here's the line that really just knocks them on their ass. When you see it performed live, it's the line that follows the fudge rounds reference, and it goes, "Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down." And people go, "Yeah, woo!" And like the cheer goes up in response to those lines, that couplet. Now, let's just break those lines down for a second, because there are a few things that are interesting here. The young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground. I mean, it's a reference to male suicide, obviously, which is, the numbers speak for themselves. Male suicide dwarves that of female suicide, although there are more female attempts at suicide, which might just be ultimately, half-hearted attempts that are really cries for help. There are more men who just take themselves out. And it's not really something, because it's about men, especially, white men doing this, then you're not supposed to care about it. You're supposed to just sniff your nose at it. If you're, into the kind of frou-frou kind of causes of the modern left, the neoliberal left, if it's not about sexual deviancy in some way, then they don't really care that much about it, or feminism. But if it's just about straight men offing themselves because they're unhappy, because they're desperate, because they're addicted to oxy, because of their the lives that they've led, they don't care about that. And so he's saying we need to remember these men and what's been done to them, to make them do this to themselves, to make them put themselves 6 feet on the ground. And then the really extraordinary line is what comes next. It's he says, "But because all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down." Now, I think that maybe even 5 years ago, or certainly 10 years ago, and definitely 20 years ago, I don't think you would have heard any country-flavored artist say, "all this damn country does," to refer to the United States of America as this damn country. That would be like, "Hey boy, hey now, you better respect the United States of America. This is the best country in the world. This is the red, white, and blue." And there's still plenty of that kind of wrapping yourself in the flag kind of stuff that happens amongst that certain class of people. It's never been something that's particularly resonated with me, but for a lot of people, it's like it's like a way of defining themselves that sets them apart from the liberals, the liberal types who are always putting the country down. But in this case, I think we have somebody who represents the demographic of what would typically be the patriotard. I'm not using that word, I'm putting it in quotes. What some would call the patriotard, brought to you courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue by Toby Keith, that kind of stuff. He says that all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down, kicking these men down. Roar, cheer, it resonates with people. People hear that and they're like, "Yeah, I'm tired of being kicked down. I'm tired of it. I'm damn tired of it. You know, and what is and it's the country that's doing it. The country is blamed for it. The powers that be, the rich men north of Richmond, are responsible for this, or fomenting this trend of this trend of being down on men, or dismissive of men's problems, or just sort of like the pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of this callous kind of attitude, man up, that whole thing. The men who are in this crowd, I think they're the type of men who think of themselves as masculine, who would think of themselves as, I'm going to man up. I'm tough. I'm going to try to be tough anyway. That's what I look up to. That's what I see as a virtue, is the masculine ideal. But yet at the same time, they're aware that they're getting kicked down a lot, and that's what is making people go apeshit at his shows. That's the line, more than any other line in his song, that is getting these cheers. And it's a little weird that people are cheering that line, because it's a sad line. But the line about men putting themselves 6 feet in the ground is sad. But the anger that is expressed, this sort of haughty, the anger towards this haughty attitude towards especially the working man, and his problems, and the way in which the working man is just dismissed, and or called misogynistic, or accused of having all of these of embodying all these terrible things. They're tired of it. These men at the shows, and men everywhere, are tired of being kicked down. And it's the damn country that's doing it. He points his finger at this damn country, meaning the United States, right, is doing it. He's holding America accountable for what it's doing to these young men who are taking themselves out, putting themselves 6 feet under the ground. So that's really interesting to me. That represents a sort of transition from where we were not that long ago, and in some ways where we still are, but but I don't know. I think that even among the working class, flag waving types, Oliver Anthony has the American flag up at his shows, but a line like that really, again, displays how the mentality is changing, how people's anger and resentment is taking this shift, where they're gonna say what it would formerly have been almost blasphemy, amongst this particular demographic. This damn country, all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I'll leave a link below so you can watch for yourself and see the kind of response that that line gets from the crowd. And leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.